Anela Fontenelle, better known as Shakur Orma Johnson of Cul-de-Sac, who resided at Brooklyn, New York, passed away in New York on Monday, March 23, 2015 at 9:40 p.m. She was 89 years old. She was predeceased by her husband, Johnson Fontenelle, and her daughter, Teresa Fontenelle. Left to mourn children, Daniel Charles of Martinique, Mary Marlin Fontenelle Gustave of Brooklyn, New York, Noella Fontenelle Edwin of Martinique, Julita Fontenelle Polius of Brooklyn, New York, Jonas Vaughan Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Christine Fontenelle Gustave of Brooklyn, New York, Darius Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Desmond Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York. 32 grandchildren: Sandra Andre of Brooklyn, New York, Claudian Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Sonia Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Sarita Mariani of Martinique, Kenji Mariani of Martinique, Jessica Leonti of Martinique, Darius Nelson of Brooklyn, New York, Cedric Charles of France, Solange Pierre of Martinique, Danny Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Josu Edwin of Brooklyn, New York, Jack Edwin of Brooklyn, New York, Xavier Edwin of Brooklyn, New York, Randy Fontenelle in the United States Navy, Rand Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Ranita Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Clint Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Vanessa Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Gabiana Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Fonita Joseph of Maryland, USA, Ankel Fontenelle of Bexar, Brianna Gustave of Brooklyn, New York, Marius Joseph of Brooklyn, New York, Darius Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Daryl Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Dylan Fontenelle of Brooklyn, New York, Tamara Harrow of Texas, USA, Latoya St. Rose of Brooklyn, New York, Kendall Nelson of Cul-de-Sac, Paris Fontenelle of Boston, USA. 31 great-grandchildren: Ebony Roberts, Naya Roberts, Daniel Charles, Latasha Flowers, Matthew Rosemond, Marcus Rosemond, Jalen Edwin, Eden Edwin, Anela Fontenelle, Austin Fontenelle, Aaliyah Edwin, Brandon Jean-Baptiste, Alexis David, Vibert Josephat Jr., Damon Josephat, Kendra Maida, Kiana Maida, Joshua Charles, Janelle Fontenelle of Cul-de-Sac, one brother, Joseph Josephat of Martinique, 5 sisters, Flora Charles of Guyabois, Teresa Charles and family of Auger Vieux-Fort, Marianne Charles and family of Auger Vieux-Fort, Agifa Charles and family of Castries, Natalie Charles and family of Virgin Gorda. Numerous nieces and nephews including Asia Josephat and Alma Brenda Maida of Brooklyn, New York, Yulina Nelson of Laclery, Leslie Augustine of Rock Hall, Kane Juice and Mogs Augustine of Saltibus, Marian Shalmine of Martinique, Venus Augustine of Castries, Martha Augustine of Saltibus, Anicia Saltibus of Brooklyn, New York, Matilda Augustine of Rock Hall, Amelia Augustine of Brooklyn, New York, Fementius Augustine of Saltibus, Edmund Augustine of Saltibus, Salbinas Mafre of Laquamengo, Ramona Celestine of the Bronx, New York, Cyrus Emmanuel of New York, Hazel Joseph of Castries, Teacher Gabriel Assor Josephat of Saltibus, Renus Josephat of Saltibus, Bellies Josephat of Saltibus, Kenneth Josephat of Connecticut, USA, Arnold Josephat, Lawrence Josephat, Ivor Josephat, Vibert Josephat, Brenda Modest, and Marcella Jean-Baptiste, all of New York, Russell Osai of St. Lucia. Daughters-in-law: Agatha Paul of Martinique, Crescentia John Fontenelle of New York, Valerie Monrose Fontenelle of New York, Donna Gray of New York. Sons-in-law: Nereus Gustave of New York, Philip Edwin of Martinique, Patrick Polius of New York, Moses Gustave of New York. Best friends: Mr. Gerald Cyril and family, Fedora Monrose of Saltibus, John Isaac of Cul-de-Sac, Clarita and Michael Joseph of Cul-de-Sac, Martha and Rosemary Labijoff of Martinique, Margaret Marianne of Martinique, also the Josephat, Fildas, and the Louis families of Labrie and Saltibus, the Charles family of Guyaboa and Lakai, the Fontenelle family of La Pointe Micoud, the Thomas and Clark families of Forsab and Londonderry. The funeral service of the late Anela Fontenelle, better known as Shakul Ormer Johansson, will be held at the Basilica of the Immaculate Conception on Friday, April 10th, 2015 at 2:45 p.m. and then the body will be laid to rest at the Shock Cemetery. The body now lies at Rambali's Funeral Parlour, Kelby Road, Castries. Transportation will be leaving in front of the Saltibus Church at 12:30 p.m. Also, a bus will be passing through Odsa, Badini, Lakwamengo, Ticolo and Cul-de-Sac at 1:30 p.m.